News, and today we will be informing you about 4 different topics that you need to know to save the world. Okay, starting off with ozone depletion. So, the Montreal Protocol is an international pact designed to protect the ozone layer by withdrawing the production of countless substances that take responsibility for ozone depletion. If the ozone layer is not protected, this means reduced ozone levels, which also means less protection from the sun's rays and more exposure to UVB on Earth's surface. UVB means shortwave ultraviolet B. So, stratospheric ozone. What is it and why is it important? The ozone layer or ozone shield, that is a region of Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation. The stratospheric ozone is important because it helps to protect the environment as well as people, animals, plants, and marine life from the sun's harmful rays. It's not protected. This means reduced ozone levels, which also means less protection from the sun's rays and more exposure to UVB on Earth's surface. UVB means shortwave ultraviolet B. So, melanoma development. In addition, UVB has been linked to the development of cataracts, which is a clouding of the eye's lens. Also, because all sunlight contains some UVB, even with normal stratospheric ozone levels, it is always important to protect your skin and eyes from the sun. So that's why you should always wear sunscreen, but if not, you will get cancer. So, watch out. Studies have shown that in the Antarctic, the amount of UVB measured at the surface can double during the annual ozone hole. A solution to the hole in the ozone layer is to remove the excess chlorine and bromine from the stratosphere. However, the only way to do this is to stop making CFCs and several other chemicals, which is why in 1990s a world nation meeting emerged and agreed to reduce the usage of CFCs and also encouraged other nations to do the same. Why the Montreal Protocol was invented. And also, you can help too. You can buy air conditioning and refrigeration equipment that do not use HCFCs as refrigerants. So, always check your refrigerators and your air conditioning CFCs, because that is very bad and that can cause the ozone depletion to be more active. And we don't want that because it can be very harmful to the environment. And that is why it can be very harmful to the environment, and we really don't want that. We want to be safe, right? We want to live, right? We want to have a long, happy life. So, protect the ozone depletion. And learn some more facts. It's very important. So, now going on to our next important topic, which will be explained by my girl, Ileana.
Good morning, my name is Ileana Padilla, and today I will be talking about global climate change. We will begin by speaking about the greenhouse effect. You're probably wondering what that is, but I am about to explain. It is the process by which radiation from a planet's atmosphere warms the planet's surface to a temperature above what it would be without its atmosphere. What this means is that the atmosphere warms up, making the rest of the planet become warmer. This process can also be called global warming. I have prepared an image to portray the effects of the greenhouse effect. I will explain this process step by step. I will begin by explaining the image that you have in your screens right now. In this part, you can see some of solar radiation is reflected by Earth and the atmosphere as the radiation hits from the sun. Then you will begin to see how some of the radiation emits through the atmosphere and it is getting absorbed by the greenhouse gases. and then re-emitted in all directions by the atmosphere. This reacts, making the earth get warmer. This is how the greenhouse occurs, and it happens all in the top portion in the atmosphere and the earth's surface. Furthermore, now I will be explaining the major greenhouse gases from people's activities, because we are the main creators of the greenhouse gases. Some of the activities that we do that make more greenhouse gases, making our earth warmer, are burning fossil fuels for electricity, heat, and transportation. In other news, I will begin talking about El Niño. El Niño is a periodic warming of water in the Pacific Ocean every few years. This creates more energy for storms to form. This affects our climate because it gives us more storms and more rain. The image that you now see on the screen is El Niño. El Niño has an effect on the Pacific Ocean, and as you can see, these are the currents of the wind, and the winds are usually very warm when it comes to El Niño. Here you can see that it affects mainly the regions near the coasts. Winds that come from El Niño give the Pacific Ocean more energy to transform them into storms. La Niña counterparts El Niño. It cools surface ocean water along tropical west coast of South America. In this image, you can clearly follow the line of the polar jet stream and focus on where it lands. It usually lands in the southern part of South America. And you can see how it makes some places wet because it's very close to the coast too. Although they're colder, it does make the regions colder. And then in some other regions where it's a little bit farther apart from where the winds are coming, it makes them dry and warm. Lastly, ice cores, tree cores, ocean sediment, coral, and pollen help us understand climate change by analyzing the records taken from these, helping scientists extend our understanding of climate far beyond the instrumental record. Now we will be going back to the studio with Alondra Cisneros to talk about effects of global climate.
Thank you, Ileana. Okay, so today we will be talking about effects of global climate. So, a positive feedback loop accelerates a temperature rise, even though the negative decelerates the temperature. So, an example of a positive feedback loop is melting ice. Yeah. Okay, that's ice. Okay. So, sea ice reflects more heat than regular ocean water does. Okay. So, an example of a positive feedback loop is polar ice melting. Okay. So, sea ice reflects more heat than ocean water does. So, okay. So, as sea melts, there is less heat reflecting from the ice and more heat being absorbed. So, by the water. So, due to this, the water is hotter, so it causes the ice to melt faster. So, now going on to temperature changes. One of the most common temperature change is our body. Our body temperature will change right away when you get an infection. So when you get sick, your body tries to fight it. So your body temperature, your immune system starts telling your body to start getting hot and hot to be able to fight that infection. Today we're going to be talking about precipitation change. Okay. So in the US and worldwide, total annual precipitation has changed. So since 1901, precipitation has increased at an average rate of 0.08 inches. And every year it keeps on increasing more. Going on, we will be talking about changes in sea level. In the past century, the average height of the sea level rises more constantly, less than a centimeter every year. The small additions add up, even though it doesn't seem like it. Today, the sea level is 5 to 8 inches higher on average than it was in the 1900s. Sea level is expected to rise even more quickly by the end of this century. Okay, next we will be talking about the change in animals and plants. So, plants have been flowering earlier in the year than their usual flowering time, and animals have been moving northward or uphill their habitats due to it getting warm. So, due to all of this, animals can be going into their extinctions and plants too. Okay. Okay. Going on to global ice changes. Arctic sea ice extends from October 2017, averaged 6.71 million square kilometers, the fifth lowest in the 1979 to 2017 satellite record. This was 1.64 million square kilometers below the 1981 to 2016 to 2016.
I thought it was a 10.
And 820,000 square kilometers above the record low October extend record in 2017. Okay. Thank you for staying here with us at the Apes News. Now I'm going to pass it on to Naleni to be talking about solutions to climate change. Have a great day.
Thank you, Alondra. Hi, I'm Nalini Castillo, and I'm going to be reporting today on the solutions to climate change. The first thing on our agenda is the Kyoto Protocol, and it's a law stating that they want to cut down greenhouse emissions by 5%. So far, in these past couple of years, since 1990, we have been able to cut down greenhouse emissions by 3%. There is still the 2% leading left. It was a law forced by February 16, 2005, and the first country to actually adopt it was Russia. The United States was there for about 9 months. They continued the plan, but then they got out due to economy. And it's actually been ratified by 140 nations, but it only really applies to 35. The second thing on our agenda today is the carbon offset. It's basically just a definition saying that they want to reduce the emissions of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases made in order to compensate for an offset of emissions in anywhere in the world. We also have to talk about the Paris Accord, and it is also called the Paris Climate Agreement, and it is an agreement within the United Nations to try to stop greenhouse emissions. That goes along with the Kyoto Protocol by cutting down the emissions by 5%. Another thing you can do to actually have a solution to climate change is drive less. You might want to carpool, you can ride a bike to work and stuff like that. You also want to reduce, reuse, and recycle. That thing from elementary is still going on today. You can always reduce, reuse, and recycle. You want to replace your fluorescent bulbs and you want to change them into the energy saving ones. It's actually it's not too costly, and it actually helps saving your energy by 70%. You want to shower with less hot water. You can wash your clothes in cold water and it would actually take care of your energy. You also want to tune your car regularly, because tuning your car makes sure that the gas emissions won't go to a certain level that they shouldn't be. Thank you. Thank you for watching Apes News. Have a great night.